But you might be thinking, well, anyone would be overwhelmed in my circumstances. And it's easy to think that there's a link between our circumstances or our problems and the way we feel. But I hope that now you can see there is no direct link between the two. How can there be a link between something that's happening on the outside and something that's happening on the inside? If I saw an injured bird and felt sad, how would my feeling be coming from the bird? There isn't a chemical link coming from the bird that affects my hormones. All of my feeling, 100%, is coming from my thoughts about the bird or about any situation. And the feeling can only last as long as the thought lasts. Now, another example. Have you ever watched a film with a partner or a family member, and one of you hates the film and the other one loves it? Well, how can that be? You've both just watched the same film. This example demonstrates how your experience can never come from the film. It can only come from the way you're thinking about the film, or else everyone would have the same experience. So, can you stop thinking? No, we are always thinking beings. Dr. Frederick Luskin of Stanford University says that we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and the Laboratory of Neuroimaging claim it is 70,000 thoughts a day. And other experts go as high as 100,000 thoughts a day. Now, whatever the number, that's a lot of thinking. But we don't get overwhelmed by the volume of thoughts because, well, we're designed for thought to just flow through us. We get overwhelmed by the content of the thoughts that we notice and keep repeating. The problem is that often we have the same stale old thoughts every day. So, if we have 70,000 thoughts in one day, and 95% of those thoughts are the same ones that we had the day before, we're going to have the same feelings that we had the day before. And we're going to suffer the same feelings of overwhelm. Because neuroscience tells us that your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of your environment. So if you're doing the same things every day and having the same thoughts, you're activating the same response mechanism. You're hardwiring your brain into specific patterns that reflect your external world. But you don't have to change your external world to overcome overwhelm, just the way you're thinking about it. Imagine that you're going for a walk along by the river, feeling very relaxed and happy. You're looking at the sunlight on the water and all is well with the world. And then you get a phone call to say that your car, which is in the garage for an MOT, needs a lot of work doing. You're facing a really big bill. Suddenly, you don't see the sun on the water. Your legs are aching from walking and the breeze from the water feels chilling. And then the garage calls back again, apologising because they called the wrong person and your car has passed its MOT. It doesn't need any repairs. Miraculously, the breeze drops and you can feel the sun on your shoulders. But nothing in the external world changed, just your thinking. When you think about all the things that you need to do, are you thinking about the thing that you need to do in this moment, or are you thinking about what you have to do immediately after that task, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, until you have a number of things to do? And all of these things are hanging over your head like a big black cloud, and you wonder why you feel overwhelmed. Now, this happens in so many areas of life. If someone has 4 stone of weight to lose, all they can see is the 4 stone. They aren't interested in losing a pound a week because the end goal seems so enormous and so far away. They get totally overwhelmed by the amount of weight they have to lose, and then they feel as if it's impossible. And so they think, what's the point? I'm never going to lose that much, so why try? and they give up before they start. But just like driving down a country lane in the dark, all you need to see is the few feet ahead of you that's showing up in your headlights, and then another few feet and another until you reach your destination. You don't have to look at the destination and decide it's too far away, nor do you have to look at the 4 stone or the mountain of paperwork or the conversation you think might happen. I mean, if you're decorating a room, you start with one wall first, don't you? When you believe that the feeling is coming from the circumstances, you try and fix the outside world, and you don't address your own state of mind. That's when people feel overwhelmed and victimized by the outside world. It's really hard to think straight and behave reasonably when you're overwhelmed and under pressure. It's like putting buckets under a leaky roof to catch the rain and running from bucket to bucket rather than fixing the roof. Let's sort out your state of mind, and you won't have a bucket full of thinking about your circumstances.